All right. Always learning new things as it relates to technology. And today I can say I learned something new. All right. Let's get started in a sitting position. And once you're comfortable in your sitting position, closing your eyes so you can bring your awareness and attention inward. Take a few deep breaths. And with each breath, let go of any thoughts of what happened before and what's to happen next. So you can really be present with what's happening in your body in this moment. Allow your breathing to slow down by listening for the pauses between your breath. And once you feel the breath is slow down, we're going to pay attention to our posture, feeling how we're sitting from the inside. So just feel the base of your body, your legs and your sit bones. And make any adjustments to releasing tension. And just feel the solidity and support of the earth beneath you. From that solidity and support, bring your awareness into the area of the abdomen and low back. And make sure that you're not collapsing in the low back. The belly is soft and slightly drawn in to support your back. And then bring your awareness into your upper back, the area of the heart and lungs. And see if you can broaden across your collarbones. Draw the shoulders slightly back. That you really feel a sense of lifting through the heart. The shoulders are relaxed, the palms are relaxed, elbows are relaxed. And these subtle changes in our posture allow for more life energy to flow upwards. Bring your awareness to your throat area, the neck area. Make any adjustments to elongate your neck and relax the throat. And bring the awareness up into the brain and the skull, the head and the face, relaxing your facial muscles and eyes, relaxing the jaw, feeling breath through your nostrils. And lastly, allow your awareness to come into the heart space at the center of the chest in front of the spine. If you like, you can even bring your hand to the center of the chest. And just visualize breathing into and out of your heart space. And then gently open the eyes. And let's begin by loosening the neck muscles. So chin dropping down. Allowing the head to roll over towards the right shoulder. Rolling back towards the left shoulder. You can make semicircles or full circles. And if you're making full circles, reversing the direction. Feeling into all of the neck muscles. And then slowly allowing the head to come back into neutral. Lifting the shoulders up towards the ears. And on the exhale, slowly relaxing down and away from the ears. Just continue this movement a few times with your breath. Good. Today we're going to do some movements of the elbows. So reach your arms in front, palms facing up, thumbs facing to the outside. Inhale, bend your elbows, touching your shoulders. Exhale, open your arms. Just a few times. Inhale, then exhale, opening the arms. We're going to try a different movement now. We're going to open the arms out to the side. Same movement, bending the elbows, touching the shoulders. On the exhale, opening wide. And last time, we're going to do a different movement, reaching up toward the sky as you breathe in for the whole body long. Exhale, bend the elbows. These basic exercises come from Yoga in Daily Life, the system level 1, and then relax. Now we'll do movements for the fingers and wrists. So first the wrists, thumbs inside, and making a circle. And seeing if you can keep the forearms and arms steady, and only the wrists moving. Both directions. and then relax. Now the fingers, we're going to make a fist, thumbs inside, spread the fingers wide. And just do that a few times, energizing the fingers and arms. And then relax and notice the sensation and feeling of blood flow and circulation through the arms. So now moving on to the torso and the rib cage. So we're going to make a circular motion, torso circles, circling around, head a part of the movement, feeling into your low back area. And the opposite direction. Noticing any stiff areas, or in my case, any creakiness through the spine and the back. And completing one more circle and then coming back into center. So now the hip joints. We're going to start with butterfly, with the soles of the feet together, the knees open wide. And today we're just going to start by applying a little bit of pressure, using your hands, gently pressing down on the knees and breathing into whatever sensation you feel. So now we're going to add the movement. You can rest your hands on the floor and allowing the knees to move up and down, working at a pace that is comfortable for you. Feeling into your hip joints. And a few more times. And now we will move into the ankle joints and the toe joints. So extend your legs in front of you. You can lean back into the hands if it's helpful. And we're going to make a circular movement with the ankles, trying to keep the legs steady. Sometimes there's a tendency to move the legs, but seeing if you can keep your leg muscles and bones steady while just the ankles move. And that might be difficult. And we'll do both directions. So now the toe joints. We're going to make a fist with the toes, curl the toes under, feel your feet contract, and then extend and stretch. Stretch your toes and feel into all of your toes. Contract and stretch. Contract and stretch. One more time. Contracting the toes, stretching the toes. So now we're going to stretch the feet and the arches of the feet. So you'll tuck your toes under, even that small toe. Some of you will be able to lean back into the heels. If that's too intense, lean the weight forward into your fingertips or palms. Take 3 deep breaths. And then let's release and just tap the tops of the feet. And now we're going to stretch our knee joint by kneeling. So if this is too deep of a knee bend, then you can sit on a cushion or a pillow to lessen the bend. And we'll just take 3 breaths here. For some people, they can feel the stretch through the knee ligaments and the thighs. Some people, it's very easy. Just notice how it feels for you. Now let's come on to the hands and knees. And we're going to work with the spine. So rounding the spine, belly drawing in, tailbone tucking under. And then the tailbone tipping in the opposite direction and the wave reaching all the way into the top of the spine. You're going to initiate the movement from the pelvis and continue to round and extend the spine, moving in both directions. You can do it with your breath or a little bit slower. Stretching the front of the body and the back of the body. One more time. So now another movement of the spine, coming onto the elbows and forearms, the knees coming closer together, the feet lifting off the floor, and a side bend. So take a breath in, and as you exhale, toes and head towards the right side, seeing if you can see your toes over the right shoulder. And then back to center, other side. Seeing if you can bend in the shape of the letter C. We'll do it again twice more. Last time. And then let the feet come down and let's sink back towards the heels, resting chest towards the thighs, head towards the ground. Breathing into the back of the body. So now we're going to look forward, reach our hands forward and shift the weight forward, laying the chest and the head down. The forehead can come down, palm on top of palm, breathing into the back of the body. We're going to do some back strengthening. So bring your arms alongside you, palms facing down. As you breathe in, the whole body lifts, legs lift, chest lifts, shoulders lift, head lifts. On the exhale, the whole body releases down. Continue this movement. Work with your own pace. Work with your breath. This next time, we're going to hold it and breathe while we keep the body lifted. And then release your whole body down and relax the shoulders. So let's press back onto the hands and knees and back towards the heels. And we're going to practice a flow or sequence of movements together. So starting on the hands and knees, we come up onto the knees, palms together, reaching the arms upward to the sky. And then we bring the hands down and do one round of cat pose. Then from cat pose, we're going to move into plank pose, a high push-up position. Right leg extends back, left leg extends back. You can pause here for as long as you have the endurance and capacity. The knees can come down first and then lower onto the front of the body. Coming into a back bend, pressing your pelvis into the floor as you lift the chest, lowering the chest and head back down, pushing onto the knees and back towards the heels. Take a moment to rest, to breathe, and then coming up into our starting position, and we'll do it again. Lifting up onto the knees, palms together, hands and knees, cat pose, rounding, extending. I usually walk a little bit forward before I come into my high push-up position, extending one leg back at a time. You can hold for as long as you have the endurance and capacity, and then lower onto the front. And coming into a back bend. It can be a low back bend. Here you're strengthening the leg muscles, the back muscles. And then we press back onto the hands and knees and push back into sitting on the heels. Resting, breathing. Let's do it twice more. Coming up onto the knees, palms reaching upward. Cat pose. Plank pose. Lowering to the front. Back bend. Back to the heels. And last time. Coming up onto the knees. Onto the hands and knees for cat pose. Coming into a high push-up position. Coming into cobra. And then let's rest here. Head and chest down. Holding onto your right foot. So bending your right knee. Pressing your heel towards the buttocks. And just giving time for the muscles on the front of the thigh to lengthen. And then let's try the other side, bending the left knee, holding on to the left foot, stretching the muscles along the left thigh. So release. We're now going to roll onto our backs and do some work for the abdomen. So before we do work for the abdomen, we're going to work on the pelvis. So isolating the pelvis, we're going to tip the pelvis so that you're pressing your low back down. Just feel the contraction in the front of the pelvis. And then we're going to stretch and release. We're going to tilt the pelvis. So we find this curve in the low back. The low back lifts off the ground. The entire movement comes from the pelvic muscles. We press the low back into the floor. We feel this engagement of the pelvic muscles. And then we stretch those muscles by tilting the pelvis. We're just isolating the pelvis. So now come into a neutral position and relax. Take a moment just to breathe and to notice any sensation. You're going to walk your heels as close as you can towards the buttocks. Tilt the pelvis so your low back is pressing into the floor. And then gently lift the pelvis up towards the sky. Lower down. Feel the spine lower down. And then fully release. Tilt your pelvis, low back pressing into the floor, then lift. So we're engaging the pelvic muscles in the lift. Lower the spine down. Release. One more time. Engage the muscles of your pelvis. Lift the pelvis. Lower the spine down. And completely release and relax. Now we're going to work with the upper abdomen. So that was a lower abdomen. Now we'll work with the upper abdomen. Interlock your hands behind your head. Take the elbows up to the sky. And then exhale, breath. Contract the abdomen and lift your head forward. Gaze at your navel. Relax the head down. Continue this movement, but on the exhale of the breath, you're contracting the abdomen. Three times. You need to rest in between your toes. And then relax. So bicycling. This works the lower abdomen, knees to the chest, legs extend upward. Press your low back into the floor as you cycle the legs, as if you're riding a bicycle. Press up through the heel. Breathing throughout the movement, and if you need to rest, you can. Then the opposite direction. And then allow your feet to relax down. We're going to roll front and back along the length of the spine. So you can start by bringing your knees to your chest and give yourself a little kick, and you'll come forward. That's the easy part. When you roll back, press your belly into the spine so you're rounding your spine. That will help you roll smoothly. So continue to roll on your back, front and back, along the length of the spine. One more time. Good. And now we're going to do boat pose. So hang on to the backs of the knees. Straighten your back so that you're not rounding your back, and then lean back. And for some of us, this is enough just to have the feet off the floor. Some of you might be able to lift your ankles to the height of the knees. Some of you might be able to reach your hands forward. Make sure you're breathing and not holding the breath. And then release. Good. So now, extend your legs, so you might need to move back along your mat. We're going to come into a twist. So let's cross the right foot over the left leg. So you're going to bend the knee. Make sure your foot is fully on the ground. Some of you will be able to bring it closer towards the hip. And now we're going to get a lot of length through the spine. So we're trying to sit as tall as possible. Reach the left hand behind you and then turn over the left side. Feel the twist in your lower abdomen, your middle back, your upper back, your neck, and your eyes. And then let's unwind and take a few moments just to notice the flow of blood, where blood flows after you release from a pose. So now the other side, where we're going to bend the left knee, left foot comes across the right leg, sitting nice and tall, right hand behind, and then we turn and twist to the right side. Breathing in the twist, even though it's hard to breathe. And then unwind. Take a moment just to close your eyes and feel the after effect of the pose. And then let's come on to the hands and knees. And we're going to come into a low version of downward facing dog.
So the hands will reach forward. And then as you lean back, they'll slide a little farther forward so that you can stretch the spine, the arms, the shoulders as you lean the sit bones back. And then let's slide back to the heels and rest for a moment. And roll up into sitting. So now we'll come into the full version of downward facing dog. Fingers spread wide, toes tucked under. I like to push back to the heels and then push into the hands as I lift the knees. You might have a different way of coming into downward facing dog. You can pedal the feet if that's helpful for you. Or maybe alternating one heel towards the ground and then the other heel, so you're really focusing on one leg at a time. From here, we're going to walk the hands towards the feet, coming into a standing forward fold. Allowing the upper body to fold forward over the legs, head relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Take 3 deep breaths. Now we're going to draw the abdomen in towards the low back and slowly roll up. Good. Let's do that one more time. We're going to roll down and roll up and really keep your awareness at the back of your body, trying to feel each of the vertebrae of the spine. And starting with the head and neck. Shoulders rounding forward, upper back rounding. That rounding moving into your middle back. Rounding moving into your lower back. And then at a certain point, the whole body releases forward as your hips fold forward and your hips tilt forward. Take 5 breaths. We're going to press into the feet, draw the abdomen in, slowly roll up. Really take it slow. Feel each vertebrae stack one on top of the other. Awareness at the back of the body. Until we come up into standing. And now we'll do some leg strengthening, feet strengthening, toe strengthening, lifting up onto the toes, arms reaching up to the sky. If you come out of balance, not to worry, staying here, breathing here. Whole body stretching and then lowering down and really taking it as slow as you're able. If you come out of balance, not to worry. Let's go at your own pace, lifting and lowering at your own pace. Just noticing all the muscles that are engaged in this movement. Good. Now we'll do toe walking and heel walking. So you can walk around your room, you can walk around your mat, whatever you'd like. The palms come together facing upward. We reach the arms upward, we lift up onto the toes, and then we walk. Keeping the heels lifted, keeping the body stretching, keeping the arms reaching upward. Notice if your breath is changing, what's happening to the breath. This just indicates when breath becomes quicker, it indicates we're turning on where the parasympathetic nervous system, or sorry, the sympathetic. So find your way back to your starting position. Lower the heels down, lower your hands down, then relax your arms. Take a few breaths. Energizing. You'll find this is very, very energizing. We're going to do heel walking next. It's a little bit harder, at least for me it is, where we lift the toes and walk on our heels. We keep the arms reaching upward, walking around the room that you're in. You might notice you're taking smaller steps. Maybe it's a little harder to keep the arms reaching upward. And you'll find your way back to your original starting position. And then let your feet relax down. Let your arms relax down. And take a few breaths. It's been a while since we've done arm circles, so we're going to do arm circles. Maybe you'll remember this, where the arms move in opposite directions. So we're going to warm up by starting with the right arm. It's going to circle 3 times forward, and then we're going to reverse the direction and it'll circle 3 times backward. And as you're doing this movement, you're noticing the shoulder joint. When you complete 3 forward, you'll change the direction 3 times backward. And then we'll try the other side with the left arm 3 times forward. Feeling the left shoulder joint 3 times backward. And then relax. We add some complexity, both arms moving at the same time in opposite directions. Right arm is going to move forward, left arm is going to circle backward. Right arm is moving forward, left arm is circling backward. And then we reverse. Left arm is circling forward, right arm is circling backward. The left arm is circling forwards, the right arm is circling backwards. One more time. And then relax. Great.
Now we're going to use the space around the sides of the body, palms facing front. We're going to inhale to shoulder height. On the exhale, we're going to hold on to each elbow, stretch the body upward. Inhale, opening to shoulder height. Exhale, back to the sides. Inhale to shoulder height. Exhale. We hold on to the elbows and stretch upwards. Inhale, we open up to shoulder height. Exhale, down. Again, inhale. Exhale. Stretch upwards. Inhale. Relax. Good. Let's come down into sitting. And you can gather any support you need to sit comfortably. We're going to extend our right leg out to the side. Turn our torso over the right leg. And for some of us, just sitting tall is enough of a stretch. Some of you might be able to lean forward. Maybe you have a little more flexibility. Just find which way of being in this pose suits your body. And try to find a softness that there's not over efforting. Just the right amount of effort. And then let's come back into center and come into the other side. Extending the left leg outward. Turning the torso over the left leg. And then finding how you want to be in this position. Without expecting or comparing ourselves to what we think it should look like. Really just feeling from the inside. And finding the right way to be in this position. Where you feel a stretch for the leg and also maybe even the back area. And then slowly coming back up. And we're going to come into a squat. So I need some help with my squat because of the flexibility of my ankles. I don't have too much flexibility in my ankles. So having a prop underneath of my heels allows me to squat comfortably. And I want to make sure that the orientation isn't down. Somehow I'm able to orient to the horizon. Level that your eyes are looking at. You're not looking down at the ground. And we'll stay in this position for a few breaths. Good. And now let's come down onto our backs. And we'll do a few more poses.
So just take a few moments to orient your back and the floor beneath you. Take a few deep breaths. And then you're going to try to have a prop or pillow or blanket or anything that's handy. And you're going to slide it underneath of your pelvis. And you're going to elevate your legs. Some people like to have the legs apart. Personally, I like to have the legs together. See what feels best for you. Slow, relaxed breathing. You allow for blood flow to drain from the feet and the legs. The lymphatic fluid drains towards the heart where it can be processed and cleansed. And we allow for more blood flow to the upper organs and glands. Thyroid gland, pineal gland, pituitary gland, all of these very important glands. Breathing is relaxed, deep. Your body is relaxing into this position. Spend just a few more moments. This is a really nice position to do if you've had a long day, if you've been on your feet all day, just to allow for more blood flow to the head. It's deeply restorative. And if you're ready to transition now, we'll allow 1 foot at a time to come to the floor. Release the support from underneath you. Relax your back towards the mat. And then let's hug the knees. Just press the knees as close as you can towards you without over-efforting. And begin to roll from one side to the other. Nice and slow. And really bring awareness and attention into the back of your body. Bring your body back to center. Let the feet relax on the ground. If you'd like, you can extend your legs on the ground. Rub your palms together. Generate some heat. And place your palms over your eyes. Cup your palms over your eyes and let your eyes breathe in the warmth. And then let's relax the arms and move into a position where we can fully relax, feeling the earth beneath your body, the sky above you, space all around you, and your breath flowing through you. Become aware of your breath. The movement that it makes in the body. And begin to wake up your fingers and toes. Stretching the arms and the legs. Perhaps yawning or sighing. Waking up the whole body and waking up the spine. And then let's roll onto our side and come up into sitting. And take a moment to come back to our original starting position with the palms together at the heart and dedicate our practice for the well-being of the earth, the well-being of all, and especially those who can't practice for whatever reason. Thank you for coming to class. Wonderful to practice with you this Sunday morning. Next Sunday, I will be teaching a retreat, so I will send you a yoga video for you to practice, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.